Well, the cold days are getting closer and closer, and that means it will be harder to exercise outdoors. Well, one place where you can always get a great workout indoors is your local Fred Astaire Dance Studio. Joining us now is the Michigan area developer for Fred Astaire Dance Studios and the studio owner of the locations in both Bloomfield Hills and West Bloomfield, Evan Mountain. Evan, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Of course, thank you for having me.
So, Evan, I'm going to ask you a question that, of course, I know the answer to, but I'm sure there are a lot of viewers out there who are way too young they probably heard the name Fred Astaire, but they don't quite understand the impact of Fred Astaire on the dance world. Could you tell folks a little bit about who Fred Astaire was and the legacy that he left as a dancer?
Absolutely, and it's actually pretty funny because I will have people come into my studio to talk with me about something or other, and they'll ask me if I'm Fred Astaire. Right? And obviously don't know who Fred Astaire is, and maybe I could be his grandson. But so Fred Astaire was probably at his time he was the most influential dancer, movie person, actor, singer, even of the 40s and 50s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. He started off on vaudeville and with his sister, and then continued into an acting career where he did musicals mostly. And he was the most incredible dancer. He influenced people like Michael Jackson would talk about it, and his influence in the dance world just continued. Well, back in the 40s, because we're now celebrating our 75th anniversary for Fred Astaire Dance Studios. In the 40s, he decided to start a dance studio in Manhattan, primarily focusing on ballroom dancing. And it's evolved now so that there are 240 studios in the United States and around the world. They're all franchise studios, and we follow the legacy of this great man who's emphasized dancing, and we continue to emphasize dancing in our studios and quality dancing. Now, there's some pictures of some of my instructors.
And Evan, can you tell us a little bit about your dance background? Did you start dancing at a very young age?
Well, actually, I grew up in Bloomfield, and I played football and other sports, and I would dance. I would take ballet classes and other dance classes in order to help my sports, my eye-hand coordination and such. So, but I didn't get into ballroom dancing until much later. I always enjoyed dancing, but didn't really know what to do. So I started doing ballroom dancing, partner dancing. It's a different skill set, and as I tell people, it's just learning the fundamentals of dancing. How do you dance with a person, and to what music and to what song? If it's a rumba, or if it's a swing dance, or it's a hustle, or a cha-cha, or tango. You'll be able to identify the music and then start dancing to it. So I know what to do, how to lead, and how to follow.
So I started off by talking about the workout benefits of dancing. Can you talk a little bit about, I mean, it really is a great cardiovascular and calorie burning workout to dance, isn't it?
It is, and that's probably the most obvious benefit. There's actually several other benefits, but the physical benefit is probably the best. Most people are the easiest to identify. When you're dancing, depending on the dance style, if you're doing salsa or swing, something more active, you could be burning up to 450 to 600 calories in an hour, and you're doing it in a fun way. I mean, like most exercise, it's got to be fun to continue it. Jumping on a treadmill or a Peloton bike. After a while, that's not so much fun. But you're moving around the floor with music and enjoying yourself and burning calories. You're also working on it's a low impact, as you said, but you're working on your core strength. You're working on your flexibility and your balance, and that's important anytime in life. But as you mature, that becomes more important for you.
So who is the typical student at the Fred Astaire Dance Studios? Is it a lot of older people, maybe a lot of younger people, men, women, 50-50 mix? What's the makeup like usually?
Good question. So the general previous, in past years, it used to be just older people, that would be doing this. Maybe somebody in their 60s and such, the widow or something. But it has changed so much. I mean, we have kids that are in high school wanting to learn how to dance, ballroom dance, to help them with their musical theater background and such. We've got young couples, obviously, getting ready for their wedding, wanting to learn how to do their first dance. we've got lots of, probably 50% of our students come in as single students without a couple. Maybe their significant other doesn't want to learn how to dance, but they want to, that exercise, those benefits. And then we have, and couples will come in to learn how to dance together if, they're going to a wedding maybe or some kind of social event. They've seen people dancing and they just want to, they want to be able to get on the floor and know what to do also and feel comfortable that way. And that's our goal, is to have people feel comfortable on the dance floor. And it really doesn't take too long following our system. But to answer your question, there is every variety. We have students that are in their 80s. We have students that are teenagers and even younger. The majority of the students, I would say, are 40 and above.
And I read a quote from Fred Astaire on your website where he was saying that a good dancer is taught. He learns how to dance. You're not born a great dancer. So I think there's a lot of people that are hesitant to think, well, you know what, I've had bad experiences. I think I have 2 left feet. But anybody, if they put their mind to it and the time into it, they can become a good dancer, can't they?
Exactly. I mean, many people think that just being a dancer, you're born into that ability, and it's not necessarily true. And you may have had, an experience maybe when you were younger, getting on the dance floor, dancing with someone, not really knowing what to do and feeling awkward. And that's why taking dance lessons, I mean, it's going back to learning the fundamentals. How do you lead somebody? How do you follow? How do you, what do you do for a particular song, with the rhythm at a certain way? So it's learning the fundamentals and you practice it. And that's what we do. Our teaching system helps students learn in an easy way so that they can be on the dance floor and feeling comfortable. So, but it's just learning the fundamentals. And most people have never learned how to partner dance, so.
So Evan, before we let you go, can you just let everyone know exactly where your locations in West Bloomfield and Bloomfield Hills are?
Absolutely. So our West Bloomfield studio, it's at Walnut Lake and Drake Road, right next to the Rite Aid and the Soul Cafe. It's right into that shopping mall. And our Bloomfield Hill studio is on Franklin Road, just north of Square Lake in Bloomfield, kind of near the Telegraph and Square Lake area, but on Franklin Road. So those 2 studios, very, very busy, very active. And our hopes, we have another one in Clarkston, another in Oakland County, but we will be opening up even more studios. So look forward to working with anybody. So.
Well, Evan, we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you for all the hard work you do over there at the Fred Astaire Dance Studios.
Well, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.